The airport was alive with its usual hustle and bustle. Travelers hurried through the terminal, their footsteps echoing against the polished floors. Some dragged oversized suitcases, others clutched coffee cups or fumbled with their boarding passes. Overhead, the steady rhythm of announcements filled the air, blending with the faint hum of engines outside on the tarmac. Amid the chaos, Maya Evans stood still, calm and composed. She was a striking figure, though not because she demanded attention. Her tailored black suit fit her perfectly, exuding quiet authority. Her shoes, polished to a shine, clicked softly against the floor as she walked. Her natural curls framed her face, and her eyes held a quiet intensity that suggested she was not someone to be trifled with. But no one noticed her, not the hurried travelers, not the busy airport staff, and certainly not the receptionist at the VIP lounge. Maya didn't need to make a scene to command respect. She had learned long ago that power didn't come from shouting or showing off. True power came from knowing your worth and waiting for the right moment to reveal it. As she approached the sleek glass doors of the VIP lounge, she adjusted the strap of her leather bag and paused for a moment. She glanced at the bold gold letters etched into the sign above the entrance, First Class VIP Lounge Exclusive Access Only. Maya smiled faintly to herself. She belonged there. She had every right to step inside. But as she approached the desk, her quiet confidence was met with an icy wall of indifference. The receptionist, a woman with a crisp uniform and an air of superiority, barely glanced up from her computer screen. Her fingers tapped against the keyboard as if Maya's presence was nothing more than a mild interruption in her day. "Good afternoon," Maya said, her voice calm and polite. The receptionist finally looked up, her eyes scanning Maya from head to toe. Her gaze lingered on Maya's face for a moment before dropping to her outfit, as though she were searching for a flaw or a reason to dismiss her. "Yes," the receptionist said, her tone sharp and clipped. "I'd like to enter the lounge," Maya replied, placing her boarding pass and membership card on the counter. The receptionist didn't even glance at the documents. Instead, she leaned back in her chair and crossed her arms, a faint smirk playing on her lips. "Ma'am," she said slowly, as if explaining something to a child, "this lounge is for VIP guests only." Maya's brow furrowed slightly, though her expression remained calm. "I am a VIP guest," she said firmly, her tone unwavering. The receptionist raised an eyebrow and let out a short, dismissive laugh. "I don't think so," she said, shaking her head. "Maybe you're lost. The general seating area is back that way." She gestured vaguely toward the crowded main terminal. Maya stood her ground, her steady gaze meeting the receptionist's. "I assure you, I'm not lost," she said. "I have the credentials to be here." The receptionist's smirk deepened. She leaned forward slightly, lowering her voice as if to add insult to injury. "Look," she said, her tone dripping with condescension, "I don't make the rules. This lounge is reserved for our most elite passengers, frequent flyers, business executives, people who belong here. I'm sure you understand." A few heads turned at the exchange. Nearby guests lounging in plush chairs sipped champagne and exchanged knowing glances. Some looked amused, others simply curious. Maya felt the weight of their stares, but she didn't flinch. Instead, she let out a slow breath, her grip tightening slightly on her bag. She could have raised her voice. She could have demanded to speak to a manager. But that wasn't her style. Maya had faced far greater challenges than a rude receptionist, and she knew better than to waste her energy on people who thrived on disrespect. "Thank you for your time," Maya said evenly, her voice betraying none of the frustration she felt. She picked up her boarding pass and membership card and stepped aside, her head held high. As she walked away, she could hear the faint sound of laughter behind her. The receptionist was whispering to a colleague, her voice carrying just enough for Maya to catch a few words. "Can you believe her? Some people really think they can just walk in here." Maya didn't turn around. She didn't need to. If only they knew, she thought to herself. For Maya wasn't just any traveler. Beneath her composed exterior was a woman who had overcome obstacles that most people couldn't imagine. She had faced prejudice, doubt, and dismissal before, but each experience had only made her stronger. She had built a life rooted in resilience, and today would be no different. The lounge doors closed behind her with a quiet hiss, but the encounter wasn't over. Far from it. Maya had no intention of letting the slight go unnoticed. What the receptionist didn't realize, and what no one in that lounge could have guessed, was that Maya Evans wasn't just another passenger. She was someone who understood the value of patience and timing. And in just a few minutes, everything was about to change. Maya walked away from the lounge with a steady pace, her heels clicking against the polished floor. Every step was deliberate, her mind calm but focused. She found a quiet corner of the terminal, one where she could observe the flow of people without being disturbed. From there, she could still see the entrance to the lounge, the smug receptionist, the lavish furniture, and the air of exclusivity that seemed to hum around it. She opened her sleek leather bag and pulled out her phone. The screen lit up with notifications, emails, and messages from her team, but she ignored them for now. Instead, she dialed a number she knew by heart. "Good afternoon, Ms. Evans," came the voice on the other end. It was crisp and professional, belonging to her personal assistant, Grace. "Good afternoon, Grace," Maya replied, her tone even. "I need you to prepare the acquisition documents for Alpha Airlines. Immediately." There was a brief pause on the other end, then a sharp intake of breath. "Of course, Ms. Evans. Should I proceed with the legal team or wait for further instructions?" "Proceed with everyone. I want this finalized within the hour," Maya said. Her eyes flicked back to the VIP lounge as she spoke, her gaze locking onto the receptionist. "Yes, Ms. Evans. I'll update you shortly," Grace replied before hanging up. Maya tucked her phone back into her bag and exhaled softly. The encounter at the lounge had reminded her of something she'd worked hard to forget, the way people underestimated her. It wasn't the first time she'd been dismissed because of how she looked, and it probably wouldn't be the last. But today was different. Today, she had the power to change things. Underscore 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 on. As she waited for Grace's update, Maya's mind wandered back to her roots. She thought about the little girl she used to be, the one who grew up in a small, close-knit neighborhood where opportunities felt like distant dreams. Her parents had worked tirelessly to give her a better life, teaching her the value of hard work, resilience, and humility. Maya had taken those lessons to heart. She had worked her way through college, often juggling multiple jobs while studying late into the night. Her career had started modestly, but her determination and sharp mind had propelled her forward. By the time she was in her 30s, she was a self-made billionaire, with investments spanning technology, real estate, and aviation. Yet despite her success, there were always people who couldn't see past the surface. People who judged her for being a black woman in spaces they didn't think she belonged. The receptionist's smug smile flashed in her mind, but Maya pushed it aside. She wasn't angry, she didn't have time for anger. She had learned long ago that the best response to disrespect was success. Underscore 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 on. Her phone buzzed. It was a text from Grace. "Acquisition documents ready. Legal team has confirmed we can proceed. Awaiting your final authorization." Maya's lips curved into a faint smile. She typed a quick reply, "Proceed immediately. Notify the board and arrange a press release." With the pieces now in motion, Maya stood and adjusted her blazer. She walked slowly back toward the lounge, her steps measured, her expression calm. The receptionist didn't notice her approach at first, she was too busy chatting with a colleague. "I mean, really," the receptionist was saying, her voice tinged with amusement. "What kind of person thinks they can just walk in here? The entitlement, honestly." Maya cleared her throat softly. The receptionist looked up, startled. Her expression shifted immediately, back to the same smug look she had worn earlier. "Oh, it's you again," she said, her tone dripping with false politeness. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but I already told you." Maya held up a hand, silencing her. "I'm not here to argue," she said calmly. "I just want you to remember this moment." The receptionist frowned, clearly confused. "What are you talking about?" Maya didn't answer. Instead, she turned and walked away, leaving the receptionist to puzzle over her cryptic words. Underscore 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 on. By the time Maya reached gate 14, where her private jet was waiting, the acquisition was complete. She stepped aboard the luxurious aircraft, the leather seats and polished wood panels a stark contrast to the lounge she had been denied entry to. Her phone buzzed again this time, it was a notification from the airline CEO. "Ms. Evans, it's an honor to welcome you as the new owner of Alpha Airlines. Our team is ready to assist with the transition." Maya typed a quick response, "Thank you. Let's schedule a meeting to discuss immediate changes. Also, ensure all employees are notified of the new ownership today." As the jet prepared for takeoff, Maya leaned back in her seat and closed her eyes. The receptionist's dismissive tone echoed faintly in her mind, but this time, it was accompanied by a sense of satisfaction. The wheels were already in motion. In a matter of hours, the very lounge that had denied her entry would be under her control. And as for the staff, well, they would soon learn that actions have consequences. Underscore 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 on. Back at the airport, the receptionist was still at her desk when the email came through. She clicked on it absent-mindedly, not realizing its significance until she read the first line. "To all Alpha Airlines staff, we are pleased to announce that the company has been acquired by Ms. Maya Evans, effective immediately." The words hit her like a ton of bricks. Her face drained of color as she read the email again, her mind racing. The woman she had dismissed earlier, the one she had mocked and belittled, was now her boss. She looked up from her screen, her eyes scanning the lounge as if hoping Maya would reappear. But Maya was gone, her departure as quiet as her arrival had been. The receptionist's smug demeanor crumbled into panic as the weight of her actions sank in. She knew that when Maya returned, there would be consequences. "You don't belong here," the receptionist said, her words cutting through the noise of the bustling terminal. Her tone wasn't overtly rude, but it carried an edge sharp enough to slice through Maya's composure if she let it. Maya looked at the woman squarely, her expression steady, but inside, a familiar weight pressed down on her chest. Around her, the VIP lounge hummed with quiet luxury. Plush armchairs, soft lighting, and the faint clinking of champagne glasses created a world apart from the chaos of the main terminal. It was a world Maya belonged to, yet one she was being shut out from. The receptionist's voice carried, loud enough to draw the attention of a few nearby travelers. A man in a tailored suit glanced over, raising an eyebrow before returning to his tablet. A pair of women sipping wine exchanged quick, amused glances, their smiles tied with curiosity. Maya felt their eyes on her, but she didn't let them see her waver. Her shoulders stayed squared, her chin slightly lifted. She'd been here before, not in this exact place, but in situations just like this. The ones where people judged her before she even opened her mouth, assuming they knew who she was based on nothing more than their biases. "Ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you to step aside," the receptionist said, her smile thin and cold. "You're holding up the line." The line, if it could even be called that, consisted of one man who had just arrived, a leather briefcase in hand. He shifted awkwardly, clearly uncomfortable with the confrontation but not willing to intervene. Maya hesitated for a fraction of a second, her hand tightening on the strap of her leather bag. She could feel the sting of the receptionist's words, but it wasn't the sting of humiliation, it was the sting of recognition. She knew the scene too well. Years ago, an encounter like this might have left her flustered, unsure of how to respond. She would have doubted herself, questioned whether she had misunderstood the situation or if she was somehow in the wrong. But that was a different Maya, a younger version of herself who hadn't yet learned that the problem wasn't her. Now, she didn't need to doubt. She could see the receptionist for what she was, a small person, clinging to her limited power, using it to put others down. And Maya had no intention of letting her win. "I'm not holding up the line," Maya said evenly, her voice calm but firm. "I've already presented my credentials." The receptionist's lips curled into a condescending smile. "I understand, ma'am," she said, her tone dripping with false politeness. "But I'm afraid this lounge is reserved for our most elite guests. Perhaps you'd be more comfortable in the main terminal." Maya raised an eyebrow, her gaze unwavering. "I am an elite guest," she said, her words slow and deliberate. The receptionist's eyes flickered with annoyance, but she didn't back down. "I'm sorry, but we have strict policies in place. If you don't meet the criteria." "What criteria do I not meet?" Maya interrupted, her voice sharp enough to cut through the receptionist's rehearsed condescension. The receptionist faltered for a moment, clearly not expecting Maya to push back. She glanced around, as if looking for backup, but none came. The other staff members were busy attending to guests, and the onlookers were content to watch from a distance. "I don't make the rules," the receptionist said finally, her tone defensive. "I just enforce them." Maya let out a slow breath, her calm exterior never faltering. "And I'm sure your rules state that anyone with a platinum membership is entitled to access this lounge." She reached into her bag and pulled out her membership card, placing it on the counter with a deliberate motion. The receptionist glanced at the card but made no move to pick it up. Instead, she folded her arms across her chest and shook her head. "I'll need to verify this with my manager," she said, her voice taking on a haughty edge. "It shouldn't take more than a few minutes. In the meantime, please step aside so I can assist other guests." Maya's jaw tightened, but she didn't argue. She stepped back, her movements controlled, her expression unreadable. As she waited, the murmur of conversations around her grew louder, each word a reminder of the divide between her and the people in the lounge. She could feel their eyes on her, could sense their assumptions. Some were curious, others dismissive. A few looked almost sympathetic, though none stepped forward to challenge the receptionist's behavior. Maya's mind raced, not with anger, but with calculation. She had learned long ago that confrontation in moments like this rarely led to victory. People like the receptionist didn't change their minds because of words. They changed because of consequences. Underscore 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 on. The receptionist returned after a few minutes, her expression smug. "I've spoken to my manager," she said, loud enough for everyone nearby to hear. "And unfortunately, there seems to be an issue with your account. We'll need additional verification before we can grant you access." Maya tilted her head slightly, her eyes narrowing. "What kind of issue?" "I'm not at liberty to say," the receptionist replied, her tone clipped. but you're welcome to contact customer service for assistance. Maya stared at her for a moment, her silence heavy. Then she nodded once, a faint smile playing at the corners of her lips. It wasn't a smile of amusement or defeat, it was the kind of smile that came from knowing something the other person didn't. Thank you for your time, Maya said, her voice steady. She picked up her card and turned to leave, her heels clicking against the floor with each measured step. As she walked away, she could feel the weight of the onlookers' stares. Some of them looked satisfied, as if they had just witnessed the conclusion of a story they had been waiting for. Others seemed uneasy, as though they suspected there was more to the story than they realized. Maya didn't look back. She didn't need to. The receptionist might have thought she had won, but Maya knew better. She had spent her entire life navigating spaces where she wasn't wanted, where people underestimated her, dismissed her, or tried to block her path. And each time, she had found a way to turn their doubts into stepping stones. This time would be no different. Maya strode through the terminal, her every step deliberate. The vibrant energy of the airport buzzed around her, families chatting excitedly about their trips, business people focused on their laptops, announcements echoing over the intercom, but it all blurred into white noise. Her mind was focused, her thoughts laser sharp. This wasn't the first time someone had tried to put her in a box she didn't belong to. She remembered the countless meetings where she'd walked into boardrooms filled with older men who assumed she was there to serve coffee or take notes, not to lead discussions or sign deals. She thought about the skeptical stares she'd endured from potential investors who had doubted her vision, only to later regret underestimating her. This wasn't new. But even though she was used to it, it didn't mean she accepted it. Every incident like this, no matter how small, was a reminder that some people still clung to outdated ideas about who belonged where. And every time, Maya used it as fuel to push harder, to achieve more, to prove them wrong. She glanced at her watch. Only a few minutes had passed since she'd left the lounge, but her mind was already working on a plan. She pulled out her phone and opened her notes app, jotting down a quick list of action items. Maya paused, her fingers hovering over the screen. Then she added one more item to the list. She smiled to herself, tucking her phone back into her bag. The receptionist didn't know it yet, but she had just become the catalyst for something much bigger than herself. Underscore 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 on. The gate area was quieter than the rest of the terminal, a calm oasis amidst the chaos. Maya found an empty seat near a row of large windows overlooking the tarmac. She settled in, letting her bag rest on her lap, and stared out at the planes. She thought about her journey, how far she had come and how much further she wanted to go. Maya had always been ambitious, but her ambition wasn't just about personal success. It was about breaking barriers, opening doors, and proving that the spaces she entered weren't just for her, they were for anyone who dared to dream big enough to walk through them. Her phone buzzed. It was Grace. "Ms. Evans, the acquisition has been finalized," Grace said, her voice steady and efficient. "The board has been notified, and the legal team is preparing the official documents. Would you like to schedule an introductory meeting with the executive team?" "Yes," Maya replied, her tone firm. "Schedule it for tomorrow morning. And make sure the communication to staff emphasizes our commitment to inclusivity and respect. I want that to be the cornerstone of our new direction." "Understood," Grace said. "Anything else?" "Yes," Maya said after a brief pause. "Send a memo to the VIP lounge staff at the main terminal. Inform them that the company's new owner will be visiting later today." There was a slight hesitation on the other end of the line. "Understood," Grace said finally. Maya hung up and exhaled deeply. She knew the receptionist wouldn't see this coming. underscore 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 on. Back at the lounge, the receptionist was unaware of the storm brewing. She sat at her desk, chatting with a colleague between checking in guests. Her earlier encounter with Maya was already fading from her mind, dismissed as just another interaction with someone who didn't belong. People are so entitled these days, she was saying, her tone dripping with disdain. I mean, just because you have a nice suit and a fancy bag doesn't mean you're VIP material. Her colleague chuckled. You handled it well, though. Some people just need to be put in their place. The receptionist smirked, satisfied with herself. She didn't notice the man in the corner who had overheard their conversation, his expression shifting from amusement to discomfort. Nor did she notice the subtle ripple of unease spreading through the lounge as word of the incident made its way around. But she would notice soon enough. Underscore 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 on. Maya's private jet touched down at a nearby city shortly after. As the plane taxied to its designated area, she remained seated, reviewing the email drafts Grace had sent her. Everything was in place: the press release, the staff memo, and the announcement to shareholders. This wasn't just about the receptionist anymore. This was about setting a tone, about showing everyone that disrespect had no place in her company. When the plane came to a stop, Maya stood and adjusted her blazer. She stepped off the jet with the same calm confidence she always carried, her heels clicking against the steps as she descended. A car was waiting for her on the tarmac, ready to take her back to the airport terminal. Underscore 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 on. The atmosphere in the lounge changed the moment Maya walked in. She didn't make a grand entrance, there was no need. She simply stepped through the glass doors, her presence commanding attention without a single word. The receptionist looked up, her eyes widening as recognition dawned. For a moment, she seemed frozen, her earlier smugness replaced by something that looked suspiciously like fear. Maya walked straight to the counter, her movements unhurried but purposeful. She placed her platinum card on the desk, the same one the receptionist had dismissed earlier, and leaned in slightly. I believe there's no issue with my account now, she said, her voice calm but laced with unmistakable authority. The receptionist stammered, her face flushing. I didn't realize. You didn't realize who I was, Maya finished for her, her tone even. But that's the problem, isn't it? You assumed you knew everything about me the moment you saw me. The lounge had gone silent. Every guest was watching, their curiosity turning into fascination as they pieced together what was happening. Maya straightened, her gaze sweeping across the room. This isn't just about me, she said, her voice carrying. It's about the culture we create in spaces like this. A culture that should welcome people, not shut them out based on shallow assumptions. Her eyes landed back on the receptionist, who looked like she wanted to disappear. I hope this is a lesson for you, Maya said quietly. Because as of today, I own this airline. And I intend to make some changes. With that, she turned and walked away, leaving the receptionist to grapple with the weight of her words. Maya didn't leave the terminal. Her emotions, though simmering beneath the surface, were kept in check as she found a quiet corner with a view of the runway. She set her leather bag on the chair beside her and flipped open her sleek laptop. The screen illuminated her face, revealing a calm but focused expression. Every click of her keyboard was deliberate, her actions methodical and precise. Maya wasn't rushing. She had no reason to. The receptionist's dismissive attitude might have rattled someone else, but Maya had long since learned the value of patience. Timing, she knew, was everything. Her first email was to Grace, her most trusted assistant. Maya typed quickly, her fingers flying over the keys as she outlined the situation in sharp, direct terms. Subject: immediate action required. Grace. We need to address a situation at the VIP lounge in Terminal B. Ensure the staff memo regarding inclusivity is prioritized. Also, initiate the executive team meeting. Details to follow. Best. M. With a satisfied nod, she hit send. Maya leaned back for a moment, her gaze drifting to the planes taking off in the distance. She wasn't angry. Anger wasted energy. Instead, she felt a familiar fire, the same one that had driven her through years of challenges, through every dismissal, every doubt, and every obstacle placed in her path. She made 2 quick calls, her voice steady but commanding. Each conversation lasted only a few minutes, but the ripple effects were immediate. Underscore 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 on. Meanwhile, inside the lounge, the atmosphere was as serene as ever. Guests reclined in plush chairs, sipping champagne and nibbling on gourmet appetizers. The faint sound of a jazz piano track drifted through the air, blending with the low hum of conversation. The receptionist, still seated at her desk, occasionally glanced toward the main terminal. Her eyes found Maya in the distance, sitting with her laptop open. The receptionist's lips curled into a faint smirk. "She's still here," she muttered to her colleague, who was restocking the complimentary drink station. "Who?" the colleague asked, not looking up. "The woman from earlier. The one I told to step aside." The receptionist chuckled softly. "Some people just don't get the hint." The colleague shrugged, uninterested. "As long as she's not causing trouble, what's the problem?" "She's not causing trouble," the receptionist replied, her tone smug. "She's just lingering. Like she's waiting for something. But it's not going to happen." Her colleague raised an eyebrow but said nothing. Underscore 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 on. Minutes turned into an hour. Maya continued to work, her focus unbroken despite the chaos of the terminal around her. Each email she sent, each call she made, was part of a larger plan, one that was slowly taking shape. Back in the lounge, the receptionist began to notice something unusual. Her computer system, normally a steady stream of passenger updates and lounge access requests, started showing irregularities. "Attention all passengers," the intercom buzzed suddenly, interrupting the lounge's tranquil atmosphere. "Due to unforeseen circumstances, there will be a brief delay in operations. We appreciate your patience." The announcement was vague, but it was enough to catch the attention of everyone in the lounge. Guests exchanged puzzled glances, some muttering under their breath about delays and inefficiencies. The receptionist frowned and checked her monitor. Her system was slower than usual, and several of the incoming notifications were flagged with urgent messages from the operations team. "What's going on?" her colleague asked, noticing her growing frustration. "I don't know," the receptionist replied, clicking through her system. "Something about delays. It's probably nothing serious." But behind the scenes, things were far from normal. Whispered conversations among the airline staff carried a sense of urgency. Supervisors huddled together, their voices low as they reviewed updates on their screens. Underscore 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 on. Maya closed her laptop and stood, smoothing her blazer. She picked up her bag and began walking back toward the lounge, her heels clicking softly against the polished floor. Her pace was unhurried, yet there was something in her demeanor that turned heads as she passed. Inside the lounge, the receptionist glanced up and saw Maya approaching. Her smirk returned, but it was less confident than before. There was a new tension in the air, one that even she couldn't ignore. Maya stepped up to the desk, her expression calm but unreadable. She placed her platinum membership card on the counter, the same one the receptionist had dismissed earlier. "I'd like to enter the lounge now," Maya said simply. The receptionist hesitated, her eyes flicking to the card and then to Maya's face. She opened her mouth to respond but was interrupted by a sudden flurry of activity behind her. A man in a sharp suit approached the desk, his expression serious. "Excuse me," he said to the receptionist, barely glancing at Maya. "We've just received an important update from headquarters." "What kind of update?" the receptionist asked, her voice faltering. The man leaned in and whispered something in her ear. Whatever he said caused the color to drain from her face. Her hands hovered over her keyboard, trembling slightly as she typed a quick command into her system. Maya watched the exchange with quiet amusement. She didn't need to say a word. Underscore 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 on. Word spread quickly among the airline staff. By the time the receptionist looked back at Maya, her demeanor had completely shifted. Gone was the smug confidence, replaced by a mixture of nervousness and disbelief. "Ms. Evans," she stammered, her voice barely above a whisper. I didn't realize." Maya raised an eyebrow. "Didn't realize what?" The receptionist opened her mouth to respond but seemed to think better of it. She simply stepped aside, gesturing for Maya to enter the lounge. "Thank you," Maya said, her tone polite but firm. She picked up her card and walked past the desk, her strides confident and unhurried. Inside, the guests who had been watching the exchange earlier now turned their attention to her, their curiosity piqued. Maya didn't acknowledge their stares. She didn't need to. Her presence spoke volumes. Underscore 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 on. The tension in the lounge was palpable. Conversations quieted as whispers spread among the guests. Some speculated about who Maya was and why her presence had caused such a stir. Others simply watched, their expressions a mix of admiration and curiosity. Maya took a seat near the window, her back straight and her gaze fixed on the runway outside. She didn't need to look around to know she had everyone's attention. She let them wonder. Let them guess. Because the real revelations were yet to come. As Maya sat near the window, the energy in the VIP lounge shifted. What was once a space filled with casual conversations and the occasional clink of glasses had turned into a bubble of subdued tension. Guests whispered in hushed tones, their eyes darting toward her. Some had noticed the earlier interaction at the reception desk, while others simply sensed that something unusual was happening. Maya remained calm, her hands folded neatly on her lap. The receptionist, now visibly uncomfortable, kept glancing in her direction, her previous confidence entirely replaced by unease. It was as if she could feel the weight of the consequences about to descend on her. Meanwhile, Maya's phone buzzed. She picked it up and saw a message from Grace. "Grace. Everything is in motion. Memo sent to the executive team. All channels have been updated with the new directive. Press statement pending your approval." Maya replied with a single word. "Maya. Proceed." She put her phone away, her expression neutral but her mind racing with thoughts. She wasn't someone who thrived on public spectacles or humiliation. But this situation required a certain degree of visibility, a clear message sent not just to the receptionist but to everyone who believed they could act with such blatant disregard for others. Underscore 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 underscore